to the Code Hangout number 74 with Sven Codes. That's me. And today, we're going to check if the stream is up and running, as we always do. There it is. Twitch up with Sven Codes. And we have the usual echo. Why? There we go. Ooh, we don't want that. And let's see if the chat is running. And yes, all right. So I've been spending the last couple of weeks working on a SudokuPad API. Partially because I already have an internal API that I use for certain things and that I want to improve on, and partially because there's some general services that I want to provide to the community. And one specific community member has approached me. He's Kinninson on the Discord. Because he needs to render the puzzles, to visually generate images of them. And that's something obviously my app does, and it's something I need myself, and it's something that could definitely be done more conveniently and better. So that's something that's been on my list to do. So I've figured that would be a good way to start the API. So far my code has been pretty, especially on the server side, pretty like low level, basic, hand built and all that stuff. But of course, if I'm creating an API that's accessed potentially by many people, or potentially hit hard by certain systems, I don't want it to fall over. So I'm gonna use some more traditional methods such as Express.js and things like that. And I haven't built an API in a while. I used to do this all the time, so my knowledge is, I think the last one I built was already Express 4, but it's been a while. And I used to get myself all tied up trying to use middleware for specifically restfulness and breaking my skull about how restful is it and is it technically true and yada yada yada. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to make it very pragmatic for now, initially, and design specifically for the needs that we have. And there's two main functionality pieces I want. One is the thumbnails, and the second one is to fetch the CTC puzzles, which currently happens through multiple layers between an offline script where I'm caching things on the server and upload them versus fetching them from the remote machine, from the original editor and so on. And what happens is that there's puzzles out there with CTC IDs that aren't cached, and then they don't load properly, or they load slower, or there's issues with them and so on. And I want to create basically a singular API place which caches those puzzles, pulls them from the server if it doesn't know them, etc. And on top of all of this, I want to start building a structure of storing the puzzles. So a place where puzzles can be pushed into, and then operations can be performed onto the puzzles, such as identifying the puzzles, editing the puzzles, accessing them in the software with short URLs, and in the future other services such as storing meta information about the puzzles, adding hints, adding ratings, and things like that. So there's other people working on similar projects. So ideally, eventually those APIs will be able to interoperate. So we might also have to look into authentication. So these APIs cannot be just openly accessible. The thumbnail API I would like for it to be. So I have to kind of build it spam proof, so I don't DDoS my own server because somebody's just referencing a file over and over, Now, one thought I had originally was to say, okay, let's make it a two-step process to access a thumbnail for a puzzle, to first upload the puzzle, then retrieve an ID, and then access the thumbnail via that ID. So I imagine something like, so we have something like api.sitokupad.app/id/thumbnail.png, for example, right? Something like that. And it could be even something like thumbnail 128x128.png, for example. And that would generate a 128 by 128 PNG. Now, the request from Kinnison was that we could retrieve this directly just from the puzzle data. And there's the puzzle data, because the puzzle data is generally about, so we have currently, and we're talking about F-puzzle format, right? Is currently maybe, let's say, 1K to 4K. And in fact, I have some data that we can look into. So let's make a quick script. Let's find a place where we can start messing about. Yeah, in fact, we have something here, right? So let's go into this folder. Not this one, not this one. Let's use this one, right? So API, I think that's off the bottom. No, it's not off the bottom of the screen. We're gonna make it a little bigger. Maybe like that. All right. So we'll just make a file. All right. And we're going to require the file. Oops. And this is going to be not just browser JavaScript, there's going to be some server-side Node.js JavaScript as well. So we're going to need our file system. So we have our file system and our promises API. All right, and then we'll do, we'll create a function. I think like that, just so it can use async await. It's a little bit more comfortable. And then we'll do let file equals fsp.read file. And we need our data. So we are in here. So we're just going to go 2 down. And this data is obviously not going to be open source, I'm afraid, because I do not currently have permission for this, but this is basically more or less the LMD database. But it's just a test set of puzzles, so I can kind of get an idea of what puzzles look like in general, statistically speaking, right? So we have this under, I think it's in here. It's puzzle list, yes. All right. And it's a JSON file. So we'll do that. And that's, you know, UTF-8. So that'll be text. And then we can just say test or puzzle data. I'll just do some parse. Now this could be slow, I think. Mostly because not that slow. Because it's a 10 megabyte file, and sometimes JSON can be a bit piggish. Also, we're not going to do a lot in the browser here, but we might do a little bit. So let's see, did we get the puzzles in here? Await is not. Await, async await. I think we don't have to do await on the root. Oh. fsp.read file read. Nope. FSP. All right. I'm definitely doing it a lot over here. Read. So it's read file. Read file. That should be it. Cannot read properties of undefined promises. What's that? Yeah. No such directory. Sudoku data. Sudoku. One down. That's SSC. 1 down. 3 down. Yeah. This is just we were out. So 8,346 puzzles. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the first one just to make sure. Yeah, so this is just a singular string and the URLs. Okay, so we need puzzles. So what we're going to do is we're going to, hey, Tristan, how are you doing? We're going to calculate the data of all of these, the length of all of these, and kind of min, max, average, and all that stuff, right? So let min equals number dot infinity max equals number dot infinity negative. Total equals 0, and count is just length, right? And we can just do this. We'll give it a default off because there's some that don't actually have a puzzle. We'll actually want to skip those. So if puzzle, because I think if I leave that out, yeah, if puzzle is length is greater than 0, only then do we do it. So min equals math.min min puzzle, and yeah, well, we don't have to be fancy because we're just gonna run this once. Yeah, me too, me too. It's been a long time coming, and to be honest, I've been kind of dodging around it. Like, I don't know, I've been wanting to start on this for the last kind of week or so, and I've been motivated and everything, and then every day I kind of take baby steps because I'm kind of scared of getting it wrong. Because it's like, I don't think I've ever built a big API that was actually accessed externally by a lot of people. So I'm kind of, it's a little daunting. I've always built things for myself, my own use, and I always put up with all sorts of crap. All right, so we have the sum. And then at the end, we'll just do this. And this is for the compressed data. Puzzle data doubling. It's for the yes, this is for the compressed data. So that's probably how I'm gonna store it. Maybe not. Maybe I'll store it uncompressed. Disk space is not gonna be as big of a problem. And compression speed on the server might be just a waste. Is number.infinity not something I can use here? Nope. Math dot. Nope. Number, oh, in. Just infinity without, okay. Shows what I know. Very little. All right, let's run it again. All right, so we get a minimum of 140. I'd be curious which one that is. A maximum of 5.5K. A total data size of, yeah, just about 10 megabytes. And 1.2K average. Now, I'd also be curious, like, how likely a puzzle is to be above a certain size. So I think we're gonna do a few buckets. So what we're gonna do is, if puzzle.length, and we're just gonna, let's make 5 buckets, right, for every kilobyte. So if puzzle.length is less than 1000, we'll just do buckets 0. We'll just increment this one. And we got to do it the other way. Yeah, and then we'll do an else if, right? Because otherwise multiple buckets will be incremented. 2, 3, 4, 5. Super manual. I'm gonna make this just like that. Oops. And 6, I guess. Else. That's just our else, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we need another 0 here. And then here we'll do we'll just less than 1000. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. 6, I guess, even though we didn't limit it, but we know there isn't any over 5.5. Okay. So 3,000 and we might as well do this. Let's do this. 100 times, and we'll do to fixed 1 and number, just like that. And now I probably should be doing a loop, shouldn't I? Yeah, we're gonna do a loop. I'm not gonna cut and paste that so many times. So we have the bucket, we have I, and it's gonna be this, where I plus 1 is our thingamajig here. I plus 1, a bucket, and then bucket to fixed 1, 100 times, yada, 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 number, and like that. Right? That'll work? Nope, that won't work at all. Puzzle length data divided by bucket. Bucket goes up until this becomes 1. Bucket divided by this is what we want. I always get that wrong. All right, so 30, okay, and we probably want to do, can I do, I want to left pad that. Ah, wait. Sorry. Console log left pad. We can console log fixed width. There's a way to format numbers, right? To be fixed width. Formatted console print f green color. Console log formatting. I don't want the styles. I want to just, here we go. Format value of a string. Formats value floating point value. Can I add anything else to the f? I don't, maybe I can't. Okay, never mind. So this is going to be that, and then here we're gonna go bucket dot string dot pad start we've got up to 4, so we want to pad start 0, 4, and I'm probably gonna run that with not the other way around, like that, and no, actually don't do that. And then we're gonna have and percent as percent, or just that, I guess. And here we can pad start. Not sure how we would do that. Nope. Wait. This should be, yeah, there we go. All right, this makes a little bit more sense. I wish, anyway. So 38% are under 1K, 51% are under 2K. So I'm guessing we actually should do this. Makes more sense. Yeah. I think, yeah. No. Yeah. Oh dear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So there's very few. Okay, so let's say under 2 kilobytes are already like 90% of all puzzles. So that's actually kind of nice to know. So there's very few large outliers. What I probably should also look into is the amount of compressed puzzles. So I'm gonna grab these guys in here quickly. Do I have them locally? I'll bring them in locally quickly. We need puzzle zipper, puzzle tools, puzzle zipper, the MD5 digest, and the puzzle decoder. And we're gonna bring them into SudokuPad.app/src API. Just stick them in here quickly. And I'm gonna switch back to CJF format. Just to make my life a little bit more confusing. I probably will build this in CJM just because I'm probably going to be dealing with a lot of older libraries and it's going to be a pain in the ass otherwise. So if I recall, so we have decode yada yada yada, and that's being used here. So do we want to decode the fpuzzles data? No, we probably don't want to decode the whole thing. We probably just want to decompress it. Nope. So decode does this. All right, and decompress, I think, is accessible. So if we do decompress, because we probably want to store the JSON data as a singular string. Yeah, because I'm probably either going to dump it into files or into a database. So let fpuzzle, or let decomp. So we should be able to just do this. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to do this. Switch it over to len. All of these. Which I should have done from the start. And I thought about it, and I didn't do it. And then we're going to switch len over to the decompressed sizes for comparison. And we might need to do a bigger bucket. We'll just do this. Buckets for each. If len is smaller than I plus 1 times 1000, then bucket plus plus. And that's not going to work. I'll do buckets I plus plus. So now it'll just do it for all the buckets. I don't know how many I have. And I can just add a couple here. Because obviously uncompressed, the data might get a lot bigger. And well, put that there. Leave it out. Make sure it still works. Doesn't work anymore. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't need those for now. Yeah. So this one is currently in the wrong module format, but I think this one, no. There's one I just had that I've made universal that I was using for something, and I not rewrote it, but I compactified it. Was that in here? Ah, yes, it was our base 30 whatever. Base 32 encoder, and it has all this stuff at the bottom. So let's see if that works for making our library here super universal, right? So So const exports, encode, decode as const exports. Module.exports. So this has to be inside of the closure. Let's just make a separate closure here so we don't get in trouble. Now, I don't know how it handles the default stuff, to be honest. Root base 64. So we have, instead of base 64, we really have exports equals this, I think. Well, that's gonna work. All right, works. That's enough. Okay, so that is these are our numbers for the compressed data. So we're already at 90% of all puzzles are under 2K, and if we decompress them, excuse me, puzzle, excuse me, let equals, and now we're gonna do len. We're just gonna rerun this on the decompressed length. Oh, yeah. Wow, that's a lot slower. But that's exactly it, right? So this took 2.5 seconds, right? So that 2.5 seconds we would save if we stored it in decompressed format. Now here the total size is double, which is fine, 20 megabytes, no problem. I mean, there's 8,000 puzzles, so 10 times that, we have 200 megabytes, still no problem, right? Okay, then we want to add metadata, which could be again as much, but we'll say. So we have puzzles that go above 9K here. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. How many of them do we have? Whoa, we still have more than that. And 1, 2, 3. What is the? Wait, the biggest one is 18K. Holy moly. Interesting. I wonder if the maximum one is if the max puzzle is the same as the min puzzle, if you know what I mean. If the maximum size on the decompressed puzzles is the same as the maximum size on the compressed puzzles, if that makes sense, right? And to do that, we'll need to actually know which one it is. So min IDX and max IDX. So if len equals min IDX equals IDX, and then we'll do the same thing for max. And then we can do so min puzzle is min IDX puzzle data min IDX dot puzzle dot length, right? And we want the decompressed version as well. So we'll do this, and that'll give us the decompressed size. And we'll do the same for max. Max, 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 max. Is that gonna work? We'll find out. So the minimum puzzle, so the minimum puzzle is 152 and it decompressed to 155. That is odd. That sounds to me like there's a problem. There's no way the decompressed version only changes by a few bytes. That doesn't make any sense, right? And the max version is, it looks like very much like that was the, what was our maximum size before? 5524, 5524, yeah. So the maximum is definitely that one. I guess we might as well output them max as well, even though it might spam our console a bit. Ah, I did not change these. Oh wow, that is actually impressive. I did not imagine that. So that is the data, the compressed data, and that's the uncompressed JSON data. And indeed, it is literally only 3 characters longer. Holy moly. That is interesting. I mean, this is super wasteful. Interesting. So that's an empty 4x4. Not even empty. It has a thermometer. That is cool. Sorry, I don't know. I find that cool. I'm gonna look at this puzzle now. So that is literally the smallest puzzle. I don't even know. I guess that probably solves uniquely. Right? It probably does. It very much probably 1, 2, 4. 1, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. Does this solve uniquely? Maybe not. There's a 4 in here. 2, 3, 4. 1. There's 1 here. Maybe this does not solve uniquely. I don't see how this would solve uniquely, to be honest. Like if I fill it in with a 1 here, right? Even at this stage, it's not gonna. It still has a billion options. 3, 2, 1, 4, 4, 3, 1, 3, 4. Like that's one solution, right? And if I swap the 2, 3 down here, it'll probably still solve. 3, 4, 1, 4, 1. Yeah, so this is not a unique puzzle. Okay, all right, fair enough. That's not what we're here for. I wish that would have been unique. All right, let's run it again, and we'll see it for the max ID as well. So I'm gonna try to. So that's the puzzle data, and we're just gonna stick that in there. See if that's a puzzle we know. Unexpected error occurred. F puzzles. Did I not copy it properly? Maybe it has some encoding issue. It's actually a good test case as well. To be honest, that's something else I need to do. I need to basically run all these puzzles through my decoder to test it, because I don't know if my decoder can actually decode all the puzzles. It could just crash, right? And some of these puzzles might not even open in F puzzles, to be honest. Come on, come on. Oh no. All right, so I gotta do this, and then I gotta go like this and wiggle my mouse, and that might work. Yeah. All right, let's see. So let's see if I can minimize that again. Unexpected error occurred. Huh. What's the unexpected? Oh. Does this hit URL limits? That's a 400 error. It doesn't go to the server, does it? Huh. Alright, puzzle ID equals. We actually need the other syntax for that. It's too big for a URL for the Firebase server to handle. Puzzle ID, I think the I needs to be lowercase. Okay. Yeah. Alright. SEO newsblur by Cripply. All possible errors have been given. Okay. Rules inspired by the Fabulous Possibly okay. Let's see if we can find this. It's probably on LMD somewhere. Oh, no. That's a lot of crypto stuff. Nope. Logic Master. Logic Masters. No. Okay. Don't know where this puzzle. Well, no, it must be from Logic Masters. Otherwise, that's what this database is, right? It's puzzles from Logic Masters. So, this is up and over. No. What is it called? SCD, SCD, SC18, SCD. I'm getting sidetracked, aren't I? Stop it, no. Wait, this is woofer CFG. Let's see. If I search for... Nope. This is not a search when you can't type in something to search for. It's not a search, guys. No match... Advanced. Search. Puzzle name or text contains... It's definitely containing the letters SCD, right? Why would that... okay. Wait a second. Puzzle name contains... Crispy 16. What if I search for crispy? Solution description. Can I search for user pages? Publish puzzles. One page. SCD. Gotta be here somewhere, right? Is it? Because I spidered the search result pages. So I'm pretty sure I couldn't have gotten a puzzle that's not listed. I'm wondering, you know, if there's ways for not listing puzzles. Or there's something about the puzzle type. Ah, wait a second. Ultra. Ah. Where does the SCD come from then? That is a little odd. SCD in the title, but it doesn't show the title. Oh, wait a second. Okay, so the title here is not necessarily the title in the file. Okay. With row and column numbers, without row and column numbers. So that was before I added row and column numbers as a feature, I guess. Yeah. I see. All right. Interesting. So that the bigger one should be the one with the row and column numbers, I'm guessing. Ah, I don't think I'm downloading both. I don't know. Okay, interesting. This is the largest puzzle, and it decompresses to 18 kilobytes. And I think a large bulk of these 18 kilobytes are that the description, or is it because of all these long strings? Yeah. Okay, that's so in my format that would actually appear. So if I convert that to CTC, it'll actually get much smaller. Interesting. And that's why it compresses so well, right? A lot of that repetitive string stuff. Okay. Little diversion, but we have some information, and this was just for out of curiosity. So I'm going to get rid of these, run this again. All right. So this is where we were at, right? So this is okay. 16, 99.9%, 834. This was over 16. Okay, so we're one short. So if I add one more bucket, our histogram should be complete then, right? And we can see that there's only a handful of puzzles in each of these. All right. So this also tells us that, let's say, if we go to 87%, right? So we're only roughly doubling our data size. And in fact, we know we're less than doubling our data size, right? So it's definitely, we should definitely save it as decompressed and save that 2.5 seconds. Or we save it as compressed and just have it in memory as decompressed. All right, so this is just, I want to get some information. So puzzle, data sizes, let's make some notes here. So expected puzzle raw data size, and we'll say F puzzle compressed format is around, so we said, let's go back to this version of the data. So it's around, let's use the 90th percentile, right? Comp 90%. I don't know, there's percentile, there's a short form of that, but I don't know what it is. So that's around 2 KB. F puzzle decomp And the 90th percentile for that would be around here. So let's say 7.5K. 0.5K. All right. And for CTC data, we can do this for CTC data, right? Sure. I mean, we could literally just look at it. Yeah. Public staging API puzzle. Boom. So we have 414 and it's so that's 7 megabytes. So 123 divided by 4,000. So 1,700. Now that's my compactified format. So CTC compact or zipped. So I don't know what the 90th percentile is, but we'll just do 1.7 KB uncompressed. I don't know actually, or unminified, because the compactified format here is actually. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I dragged all the files. It's trying to open all 4,000. I'm kind of tempted to try to kill the process here. Let's hope that is not total disaster. Okay, at least it didn't remember that I opened all of those. Whew. All right, let's just open one, please. In fact, let's open the biggest one. Biggest one is 15K. I would be surprised if it's kind of related to one of those. So the compactified format I have here is basically just replacing all the JSON labels with short versions of them. So if there's gzip, it actually won't help that much, but not gzip, you know, makes a big difference. All right. Okay, so this is our test. So let's go back to this. Let's run our thumbnail test that we built last time, see if it's still working. So I think it's currently this one. So if I run test thumb, and I need to make sure I'm not running it elsewhere. Because, yeah. So I was running it here. So let's just get down here. So I'll just do a node. Nope. Node test thumb 3. Node. All right. Don't need that. 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 Sorry, yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So this basically generates a thumbnail in the PNG file is 4 kilobytes. It took 99 milliseconds. If I do it again, it's 5 milliseconds because it's caching the zipped kind of puzzle data, right? So we need a couple of different things. Let's make a list here. We need needed items. We need push fpuzzles data to service to API. Let's call it API. We need to do the same thing with CTC data and maybe I should call this Sam Kappelman lines, right? Because that's Sam's format. That doesn't really have anything to do with CTC. Sam. What's Sam's? Yeah, let's just call it CTC for now, but we probably should come up with a different name for that. And we need to be able to push CTF data to the API. All right, then, and by push, we might as well post. Now the question is, do we want to enable thumbnails via URLs? Or do we want to be a bit stricter and say, okay, this needs to be submitted via post, so we don't literally have a 3 kilobyte URL living out there, which we probably want to avoid in the future. It was a bad practice, and it still is. So then, because what I was considering doing is that the return would be a redirect to the thumbnail thing, right? Oh yeah, and earlier I was saying, okay, ideally I have this, and then we'll have CTC data, F puzzles data. So there's different outputs, different things you can request on this puzzle. Now this only works once you have an ID, right? So to get an ID, you would basically have to push the data. Now the question is, if the data already exists, it would have to match the data, and that's kind of what I was working on with hashing and stuff. The other thing I can do, and I think this is more the RESTful style. The other version I can do is kind of do something like this. We'll just have an endpoint called thumbnail, right? And then we'll have something like ID, size, and then format, something like that, right? Or even something like this, right? And then I'm not even sure. So for example, I would use this to distinguish the kind of data. And the nice thing is I can actually set this up that these files just exist on the server, and I just I basically just file serve them, right? Which I can't do as easily from this thing. So I'm currently kind of leaning towards this, because then it leaves me open to kind of mess up now and then later on have better APIs down the line, you know, like a puzzle API or whatever, right? And then the question would be, what would be the format for the long form, for the data, right? So we have, we wouldn't want to do this with puzzle data. Like we wouldn't want to do this, right? And have this file name be endlessly long. So I think we still want to do like a post that then does a redirect. The problem is that means you cannot use the long URL to directly link you couldn't create a tiny URL and then put that in an image source, for example, right? Which is, I think, what maybe the idea was. Unless we use get, like instead of just allowing post. Because the other thing we could do is if we make this a folder in the file structure, right? Then now the puzzle data could also become a folder. And then the thumbnail could be this, right? Now the thing is, I'd like to have the file name, the thumbnail file name actually include this ID. So if that image ever gets saved and passed around, the ID is maintained, right? If this is saved, personally I don't like it, right? If I save the thumbnails from 3 puzzles, I would like them to have different unique whatchamacallits, names, right? The thing is, obviously, when you're requesting the image, you don't know yet what the actual is. But we can do a redirect, right? So we could say this, then does a redirect to something like this. Yeah, I think that might be the way to do it. And then I think you can still use it. So let's set this scenario up as a test. So what we're going to do is, for now, forget the thumbnail, right? So we're going to create like a little API test.html, right? And this is just going to be a simple HTML page. We're just going to do something like this, right? And then we'll have this 01. Let's make a touch test02.js or test API test 01. Am I overwriting previous test things? So API test would be here. And do I want to prototype this with simple server or let's use that as our excuse to set up Express, right? So, getting started. Boom. Installing. So, we want to install Express. We want to install it with save. And I probably want to put the API in its own repo eventually. All right. And then we'll do this. Yeah. Whoop. Don't know what just happened there. Ooh, some kind of archaic styling going on here. So this would be API test. Okay. Let's just, it's been a while. Might as well start from the bottom. So if I do this and I go to localhost 3000, I get my hello world. All right. Whew. So what we want to do now is, according to our little structure here, our little nodes, and actually I'm going to move these nodes into my little planning doc here. So we need to be able to return our HTML file. We want to all right, so let's set up some routes need to be a basic file server. We need a router, yada, yada, yada. All right, extra basic routing. Here we go. Static files, express static public, use static, express static. So if we do something like this, app view slash, we do this, hello world, and then this one slash thing, express static, index.html, not index.html. What did I call it? API test.html. And then if I go here and refresh this after restarting it, cannot get slash. Cannot get slash. So that's obviously not how that works. Actually, you know what? We want to start with error handling because that's super important and I always skip that. So we want to handle errors. The default error handler. Use writing error handlers. So default error handler. Express cause is a built-in error handler that takes care of errors that might be encountered in the app. Default error handler middleware function. Yada yada yada. This value is define error handling middleware function the same way as middleware function, except error handling functions have 4 arguments. If I do this down here, and I hate that I'm gonna have to change the syntax for everything. Whoops. If I do this, and I'm gonna change this to nodemon, which should be installed again now. Cannot get. Huh. Huh. Cannot get. It never hits this. And what am I getting back from what did I just remove? Nope. I just removed something. I don't know what I removed. I'm gonna miss it later, aren't I? Shoot. What did I remove? All right, never mind. Who knows? I might be able to find from a different browser window. So this returns a 404. Express error handling. If you call next was an error, you have started ready the response. Default error handler. The rest that is such. So how can I handle a 404? Block errors. Blind errors. Use. If I get rid of this, and if I add hello world here, so that still works. And what's the root for this? All right, let's do a double up on this one. If I do index.html, can I do this? Index.html. Yeah, all right, I can do that. Why can't I do this? Or this? Nope. And immediately I'm getting stuck. Express default URL default handler default root handler. Setting a default root. Yeah, I'd like to handle express 404 error handler. Use. So that would be at the very end, something like that. Even their own documentation is inconsistent with their own code style. So that hits here, and this does not. So this does not work. I'm gonna lengthen those out. Request. Does that tell me what the requested URL is? Request URL is, yeah, response. Okay, all right. I like to write these out because I like to use res as a short form for result. So it doesn't hit this, even though that's... What if we do this? If I do this, okay. And if I do use, it hits this, but doesn't hit this. So express static works differently than what I thought. All right, let's see. Can we figure out how it uses, how it works? Static files. So search static files and use the middleware function express for can load the files in the public directory. Okay, but I don't want to. This is basically simple server serve folder, right? Provide the express directory is relative to the directory from where you launch your node process. If you run the express app from another directory, it's safer to use the absolute path. All right, that's not what we want. So we want express static single file. Send file is all you need. Okay, that was painful, but I guess we'll just do this. Something broke. So this path must be to res.send file. Absolute or specify root. Must be absolute or path must be absolute or jeez. Let's figure that out. Where are you going? Takes you a while to get ready. Excuse me. Send file. Root option. Okay, how do we do that? I guess we'll have to do this. And that's why I built my own simple server. It does did all these things out of the box, no problemo. I guess we can just do this. Sometimes I can't help myself but trying to fight the system. And then yeah, here we go. All right. Hey, yeah, all right. We got our static file. We've got our dynamic response. We have weird error handlers. We have 404 handlers. We're listening on the port. So, what did we say we wanted to do? We wanted to be able to reference an image. So right now, I'm gonna save one of these and just gonna save that as a PNG or whatever. Yeah. So we're gonna save that under here, under scf.png. And we're just gonna make a little test here, scf.png. We're gonna do the same thing as we did here. scf.png. And I'll be curious if it does the mine types and all that stuff correctly. So scf.png. Ah, that's not right. So this needs to happen after all of these other ones. So that's a little concerning because it means I can write anything here and it'll return that. Oh, guys. So how do I make it match route exact match to match it exactly match? I probably have to use regular expressions. It does not actually occur. Root to get does not do partial matches unless you're using wildcards or regexes. God, so that task.seed. So it's because I'm using use instead of get. All right. Express use root exact match. You probably have to use a regular expression. All right. That's fine. That's fine. All right. So this gets us the PNG file and it returns content length image PNG. All right. So that's so far so good. So now if I put an image in here, and I'll do scf.png. And that should work. Nope. There we go. All right. All right, so this is just a regular PNG image served through our little Express server. Now, what I want to do is I want to return a redirect, right? So we want to do an Express redirect. And there's probably res.redirect, yada, 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 right? So we're going to have a specific URL. Let's call it whatever, right? Something like this. I'll get rid of this hello world. We don't need that anymore. So let's call it /thumbnail. And then we'll do puzzle data. And we'll just have a look at routing here. Basic routing. Path. User. That's a little too basic. Okay. All right, that's it. That's not useful. Application, and that'll get us app dot use. Now it's annoying that use. I thought use was just a catch-all for all of the verbs, but apparently it operates slightly differently, which is a bit annoying, and probably figuring out how is probably going to be very difficult. Root will match any path that follows a path immediately with will match Apple images, yada yada yada. Okay. Mounted without a path will accept any request to the app. For example, this Middleware framework will accept for every request to the app. App.get is in here twice. App path returns the name of a. Oh my god, they overloaded that? Seriously? Ah, that's just horrible. This is very old school. Very, very old school. Well, Express has been around for a while. Don't want water in the microphone. I just want to know how the format for the variables in the URLs work. Come on. Once again, my own router would already be done by now. Ah, here we go. Param callback functions are local to the router, in which they're. Yeah, I remember like multiple levels of routers and all this. App.param. Add callback triggers to root parameters where name is the name of the parameter or any other. Routing methods. Supports the following routing methods. Yeah, okay. Param. For example, users present in a route, you may. Okay. I see. So can I do something like this? If I just do this and then just request this over here, like that. Hello world. And then it says thumbnail route, okay. And the parameters live in, they probably live in parameters, params. Do they live in params? Get. Characters can be used to capture characters and capturing regulars. For those you can't use to capture user can use slash stat dot can't be used to capture user not. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's, man. It makes me already just do my own and not worry about their rubbish. This seemed so like magic the first time, like when I worked with Express, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. Well, maybe not that long, but. And now it's all like, oh, geez, people who wrote this. So this is the first time it actually mentions that it's request.params. Jeez. All right. Well. So let's use our short puzzle data that we had from earlier, because that's going to be great for testing, actually. So it's going to be this, right? All right. So we get our puzzle data in here, our show wheat. And then we're going to redirect it And for now, we're just going to do response.redirect to our existing PNG, like this. Oh, jeez. Just hit all the keys over and over and over until something happens. And I still didn't type this correctly, even though I thought I copied it. All right, if I do this, it sends us here. All right, now let's see. First of all, let's see if I can get my URL back. Nope. So let's do this here. So we're gonna put that in here. And we're gonna put that around it. And I like that. Right. I'm gonna put that in the title so we remind ourselves what's happening here. Nope. All right. So that works because this image is the redirected URL from this. Now the trick is we actually gonna generate the thumbnail and then redirect. And before we generate the thumbnail, actually we're gonna generate a ID. So we have our test hash here. And I guess I need to put these into a library of some kind. So let's just call this. I'm gonna have to make up a lot of names. Puzz hash lib. All right, and it's gonna be one of these guys. We're gonna use the same method of making it a universal library that we did in here, or something maybe. Yeah, we'll have to figure out because we're gonna have to put in two things like this. And we're gonna have to be able to modify these. I'm gonna have to get rid of all of this. And there's the hash matcher and the hash hasher. And I don't know, it needs this, huh? So we don't actually want to do this. So we actually want to pass these in as arguments like that. So we don't want to have these dependencies basically. And then the base 32 in code, we're just gonna have to expect it to exist. No, that's not how any of this works. Because I want this to be available in the browser as well. You know what I mean? All right. Well, for now, I'm just gonna mush it in here. Like that. Just mush it all together. And then we'll do base 32 and yada yada yada. And then exports will have base 32, puzzle to ID, and puzz ID match. Like that. And I think we need to do something down here. Puzz hash root. We should be able to do this, I guess, in the spirit of it, even though I don't quite like this. And now we should be able to include that. Plus lib js. And what we want to pull out of there are these three services. And okay, that seems to work. So the base 32 call. And we want to, where was it? Where was it? Test hash, here we go. It needs hash. So this just needs to be, I don't think this can ever be a browser side thing because of the requirement to crypto. I mean, it's available in the browser somehow and whatnot, but all right. Well, we're gonna pull out the fpuzzle info here. And I think that's what we're using in the hash test here. So we can do this. So request params is .puzzle data, right? So const puzzle data. Something like that. And then we can output these kind of biddies. And then we can say puz ID equals puzzle to puz ID. And that should take puzzle data, author title. And then we can output the puz ID. Just to make sure we got it all. Load fpuzzle is not defined. Oh. It comes out of here. We just did another test where we used that with the right paths and all that. All right. Here we go. So puzzle data, author, yeah. Okay, so the decoding worked. And we have a puz ID. So now we can redirect to so the question then is, do we want to be able to detect this? That's another thing I haven't actually done. I don't have a way of detecting the puzzle ID is correct. So we could literally have different URLs here. I mean, I'd love to be able to just auto-detect it, but it could be quite a bit of work. You know, like you might have to decompress 4 kilobytes of data just to detect what kind of, if we can decompress it and all that sort of thing. We could require the prefix. Now, I think the prefix for my own stuff at the moment is fpuzzles, which is a bit annoying, but I probably should keep it consistent. Yeah, so that's broken now. So then if we change this to fpuzzles, that works again. Okay. So then we have an fpuzzles thing here, and then we'll have a thumbnail puz ID. So we'll make the puzzle ID to be the sort of most compact version, I'm guessing. And then this would redirect to that with puz ID in the URL, like this. And then we'll just do something like this. And then here, we'll do puz ID. Then we'll just have puz ID. And don't have any of these things going on for now. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, what happens? Pause ID, yeah. Bada bing, bada boom. So, we've turned that into a puzzle ID, and we're hitting it twice. Why are we hitting it twice? Okay, so let's do a little test here. Our thumbnail service. So our thumbnail service, is it running right now? Don't think it is. I think that was the Windows version. No. So let's run that quickly. So that's node test thumb 3. All right, so that means we now have a thumbnail service running at this URL, right? So, and that thing will run internally in the server. And if we call in node fetch, does Express work with async? Sync await. Is that kosher? What I don't understand is this code does not know to call this with await. Ah, but it's not waiting for an output, so we don't actually care. All right. So if we do this, right? Ah, wait, wrong thing. Yeah. So we're here, and we are looking at this kind of structure, URL structure, right? Oh. So we want to do a let. I don't know what we're getting back from this. Let thumb png equals await fetch. Whoop. Fetch. And it's gonna be this thing, like that, with puzzle data, like that. And we're just gonna see what comes out of there. And I'm guessing this needs to be, I need to do .body or something to actually get the body for it. So this, because this will be a response, response object, and we'll do wait this .body, and hope that that is actually going to return plain text. Body is not a function. Text. Okay. So what we want to do here, it's going to return a buffer. So node fetch returns a response object, which body.json form data blob. Blob. It doesn't say anything about that. Okay. But we need a binary object here because we're getting. Okay. And then node write blob to file. So I get as node fetch buffer. Can we get a buffer out of there instead of a blob? Buffer from body. Press body pipe, so you can pipe it, which is a stream. Okay, so node pipe to file. File pipe destination. On data chunk. Body pipe. Fetch. Res. Ah, there's a buffer. Buffer? Okay. So we should be able to do a await fsp.write file thumb, and we'll just call it whatever. So let file name equals thumb fuzz id 128x 128.png, and what we're going to do with sizes and formats and all that stuff is something we'll figure out later. And then write file is file name .png. Right? And if I do this, FSP is not defined. File system, yeah, it's not there. Why is it not there? Didn't I just do a bunch of stuff with these things? All right. Now it should be there. Okay. Now it claims this is the file name, and we've done a thing with that file name. Let's see what the thing is that we've done. All right. There's a file here. It looks kosher, right? So now on this end, we should be able to return this file. So we'll do the same thing here, right? Then we're going to output this. And we're going to add that in here without the redirection for a sec. So here we have this whole thing, and we're going to just comment that out. And then we're going to change this to getting rid of that and basically using our fuzz ID here. Stick that in there. And then that should work just like that. Right? So here we have now fuzz ID with a file name. Yes. And then we should be able to use send file with that file name. Now, what we want to do is check if the file exists. And where did I do that most recently? I think it was in the data loader. fs.existsync. Yeah, here we go. So if not, right? Console.log file not found. So basically what we'll do is we'll do a redirect to here and then bounce it back. Now the danger here, no, wait, we can't do a redirect here. No, we can't because the file doesn't exist. We're done, right? Now in the future, obviously, if the puzzle exists, we can generate the file, right? But that's for later. So in this case, we actually want to do a response for thumbnail not found, something like that. And just do a return here. If not exists. Now, if it exists, we'll do a send file with this file name. And of course, you know, caching, folders, yada, 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 right? And that gets us this. Now, the other one should get us the same thing via redirect, right? Now, if we delete the file like this, This one will work and this one will not work the first time around. And then the second time around, it'll work. And that's kind of the idea of it. So you can reference this, but all this will do is redirect it. It'll give you a redirect. So here it shows that URL. So I can say open a new tab, but it'll actually immediately redirect it to here. And the test hash, not test hash, the test 01? Yeah, the test 01 currently only does a fixed size, right? But we can simulate it, right? We can just generate different files. So then the idea would be we have similar redirects for the other puzzle formats, but internally they all end up in the same place. It just depends how we load in the puzzle data and all that stuff. And yeah, so basically the other thing now we want to do here is extension. Right? I'm going to do this like that. If I do this, then look down here, we can just schmollify this a little bit. So the extension is PNG, right? But we'll do a this we don't need anymore. We'll do a SVG version as well. So if it's a .svg, like that, we want to know what happens, right? So extension is, and I'm going to get rid of some of that spam. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Do that. And now we know the extension is SVG. And we'll functionify that thing. So const async fetch or generate thumbnail. And it'll just be puzzle data format, and in the future we'll add sizes and all that stuff. And it's really kind of just this thing for now. We'll do const gen thumb URL. Just do this, and it just returns this string thing like that. And we'll just, in the moment, we'll just put format in here. And here we'll do this. And of course, what happens in the API is going to be very different. It's going to go into a database, yada, 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 right? Of course. And then we'll just return this for now. Then he'll just do this. And we'll do puzzle data extension. Thumb image. Right. Thumb image. And this goes with the extension here. Boom. And then this goes also with the extension there. And then down here, we'll kind of do the same thing. Grab the extension there. There, there, I think that's it. Async generate const. Yeah, that goes there. And everything breaks. Puzzle data is not defined. Puzzle data, I probably changed the capitalization. You know what? I'm gonna make this a singular lowercase thing so I don't screw myself. And I think this was where it was lowercased. All right, let me try it again. And now so I don't see the thing here. PNG, SVG. Let's change this so it's not as much of a pain in the butt. F puzzles, puzzle data. And we'll do the same thing here. And make sure these extensions are correct. So this, if I now zoom in, this one will get blurry, and this one will stay sharp because that's an SVG. And if we look at this, indeed, we'll see that's an SVG. And if we look at the network tab, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because we end up like this. Well. We kind of want to have that be part of the file name, right? Like that. I don't think that works this way, does it? So the argument parsing, sorry, the parameter parsing will struggle here. Params. Guide, error handling, root parsing. Come on. Guide, routing, root methods, root paths, root parameters, and complex parameters. Define roots with root parameters simply. Yeah, we want that with regular expressions, so. Regular expressions. Root paths and great with request mode define the input. Root paths can be strings, string patterns, or regular expressions. Path to regex matching the root path. See the path to regex documentation. For all the paths defining a root. Any tool for tasting is okay. I always found this such a mess, to be honest. Just to make it simpler for people who don't understand regular expressions, but you know, it is what it is. Okay. So internally, it probably translates this to regular expressions anyways. Test root, test root, test root, prefix. How do I name parameters with regular expressions? Is it just numbers then? Do root parameters work with regular expressions? I don't think so. Express root reg x params. Regular expression for root params. That expression is wrong. What you're trying to achieve. So you just put a bracket behind the rate. That is not what this looked like. Root parameters, root handlers, regular expression parent. However, the exact string that can be matched by the root parameter, you can append a regular expression parenthesis. All right, so this could be, okay, so I can just say not underscore plus, for example, right? And then if I do this, this works, and this does not, because that's the wrong one, because that's still the old format. Sorry, deprecated. And if I do this, okay, they all work. All right, all right, all right. That's what I was looking for. With my own server, this was been done 5 minutes. All right. Anyway, we're building for the future. We're building for the future. Now, how exactly these work? Oof. I'd like to have a format that's as close as possible to looking like a standard file name for the final URL like this. But I'm not sure if the thumbnail should be here or if it should be part of the file name. I think it's okay for the thumbnail to be kind of, hey, this is the thumbnail service, you know. Because once a puzzle is being pushed in, we can potentially have all sorts of services. Normally, you would have the ID of the puzzle at a higher level and then, you know, properties underneath. But, you know, this is one of those REST things where I don't think it's too crucial. So, and this obviously doesn't compute because, you know, just do square brackets. This is just to remind myself that something goes in there. So the idea is from here it redirects to the final thing. All right. So now for the test hash service, not the test hash service, test01 service, this guy. No, not test0. What the heck am I saying? Let me just close all of these. Obviously just confusing me. Even this. In fact, I don't even have it open. Test thumb 03, right. So this whole thing currently does not support custom anything, right? So to test that, we want to go to one of these guys and let's actually use our mini test data here, which I put in here, right? So if I did that, is this not doing anything? Ending. Isn't that the exact URL that we're hitting from here? Localhost 1600 get thumb PNG. Oh, fpuzzles needs to be prefixed. All right. All right, fair enough. So we actually need to improve that API as well. And to be honest, we want to actually move most of this probably into the other service or into Express or whatever. But for now, I'm happy to keep these separate and just have this sort of as a rough testy thing. Because this is a bit complex with the Puppeteer instance and all that stuff. So, what do these guys do? They should be doing more or less the same thing. Get thumb. So we probably want something like PNG or SVG. And we'll probably do something like this. And then we'll do width. And then an X. And then the height. and then get thump handler like that. Get thump png. Get thump. What is getting passed in here? Get thump png. I don't actually know. Let's do this, and then we'll just return something. Something like that for now. And we're going to create our little test URL in this format. So this is get thumb /png /256 x256. And if I put that in here, bring that to the front, over here, what do we get? We get an error. And I think this didn't refresh. Nodemon, here we go. I wonder who is streaming right now. Somebody's streaming for sure. Always somebody streaming. Zitamath is streaming. Let's have a quick peek. Can I get subtitles? No, I wish there were subtitles. That's probably where Tristan went. All right. Reload. Reference error response is not defined. Reference error response is not defined. Request response. Args. Oh, wait. Equals. Get thump png. Get thump png. Get thump. I'm so confused right now. What is this? Get thump svg. Get thump png. We have a function. Am I actually using... I named the function on the inside? I didn't even know I could do that. I guess that's actually just complete gibberish. Yikes. Really confusing myself here. So I guess I have to split the URL myself because I'm not using Express. Haha. There we go. So then we want to split this re thumb URL, and that's just something like this, and it starts. We basically just care about the path name. So it's gonna be like this, and that'll be get thumb. Then, well, it's basically this, right? It's basically this. Right? So URL.pathname. All right. And that should be, so this should be an array. And the elements are path name, extension, type, width, height, puzzle, data. Right? And then we do a toString here. And we should be able to output these things as well. Width, height, and puzzle data. And the puzzle data, well, it's not too bad. We use our special short puzzle here. And this. Boom. So puzzle data, type, width, height. Okay. So now normally what happens up here is, well, this stuff, depending on if it's SVG or not. And this stuff, if it's PNG. So, yeah. So we'll do a switch type, case PNG, and case SVG. Right? And we basically do this for SVG and this for PNG. And do we need to do anything different on the output? Yeah, so we're going to do let mime type. So mime type equals, that's SVG and that's char set UTF-8. Does that make sense for a PNG? I don't think so. We're not returning text. So that's probably rubbish. I guess that's technically a mime type. But who's counting, right? And that's this one. In fact, the SVG is UTF-8. So actually, I'm going to do the full thing here. For the PNG, that doesn't make sense because it's not UTF-8. So, PNG buffer, SVG. So for SVG, we'll just have that, right? So we have content type, content data. And both of them will have a length argument, so that's fine. But we can do content length just to have a little bit more flexible, right? Flexibility. And content length would be length. And here, that's going to be content data. That content data equals SVG. So now we don't have these anymore. And this is get thump. And we can just output the type width, height. And then it'll be S, X, S, something like that. We don't need these anymore. We're going to output puzzle data for now. This is going to have a small d now. And thumb ops is going to be modified with width and height. Like that. Ah, come on. And now, content type, let content data, oh yeah. A PNG URL, oh, all right. Comes back as URL data, all right. Reference error SVG is not defined. SVG, URL, SVG, So now this would be content length, content data, and content type. Look at that. And boom. SVG is not defined. We're still asking for SVG. Where are we asking for SVG? 224. 224. Content length. Bada bing, bada boom. Still errors. Content was run because of navigation. Ah, shoot. What used to cause that problem? What used to cause that problem? SVG. Get thumbnail PNG. Get. Oh. Did it just need to be restarted? Okay. That doesn't look size appropriate. Can I get the size for this? No, 256 by 256. So if I now make this, I don't actually know how it deals with non. Okay. That actually kind of works. It doesn't. Well, if I do this, it creates a large image, but it doesn't actually make the thumbnail that size. Okay, so that's well, that's wrong, right? Get thumbnail, get thumbnail PNG. Get await async. So this returns. I need to just enable the debugger. Be able to get that info. Ah, yeah, down here. Down here. Okay, get thumb, log, data image, SVG, XML. SVG, XML, PNG. Response 200 SVG. So after basics for the buffer PNG data. After I don't actually recall if I tested it with different sizes. Opts. Ugh. I'm gonna disable the debugging of response data. It's just gonna be too big and not useful right now. Do this. I think that's really ever needed. Okay. Here we go. Width, height, 512, 512. Okay. So get thumbnail async. Get thumbnail async. Now that's being called from the thumbnailer, right? Ugh. Yeah. So get thumbnail width height options. Width height. Width height. What's going on here? I keep forgetting that that's going to show up in the console on the outside. Invalid unexpected token. Oh yeah, all right. Width height 512, 512. All right, so thumb load. Thumb node load from SVG to PNG. SVG to PNG. This is where we need these, right? Width, height. So are we still at 512, 512 here? SVG 512, 512, draw image. I think here we need to do width height. Right? And now it's 512, 512. And if I make this 1024, 5512, yes. And it's always full resolution. Okay, that's all we needed, right? Is that a bug in the thumbnail or in the mobile app as well, potentially? Ooh. All right, so now the question becomes, how did we change it? We format, and then width height, right? Format, width, height, and we'll default these to 128, to 8, and format will default to PNG. And after the format, the width and height are /x. Okay. So that'll be width, x, height. And then another slash. Like that. So now if I go back here, things are going to break. Why is that? Get thumbnail is not defined. So we do this and this and that. And that doesn't work. So I was distracted by how do I don't know how to close the emoji keyboard. It's so annoying. Ah, okay. Well, that's so annoying. Unexpected token. Reload. This site cannot be reached. Oh. Oh. Get thumb. I think we need another slash in that URL. Here. And boom, boom, boom. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So 128 by 128. 128 by 128. Why is that bigger? 128 by 128. 128 by 128. Over here, 128 by 128. And the actual file, I delete these. Refresh, 128 by 128. So, and here I need to now change this to width 0 through 9 plus and height. Right. And right now we're just gonna limit this to SVG or PNG. And I guess we'll do the same thing here. All right. And then we'll do const gen thumb file name. Whoops. So that'll be fuzz ID. Like that. No, not like that. Like that. And that's basically this. Thumb file name width height. And I probably don't want to do magic fill-ins here, although we can, I guess. So file name equals gen thumb ID file name plus ID width height format. Instead of extension, let's just call it format. Format width height, like that. And then gen thumb Gen. Jesus. Just a get. It's fine. Gen thumb. Get thumb. And then get thump URL. Get thump. Get create thump URL. Get create thump URL. And then get thump URL based on pos ID. It's going to be kind of like this, but it's actually going to be more like that. And it's going to be kind of like this. Right? With an underscore there. Is that what we want for the file name? So it's the same as the file name, except we have a thumb underscore here. That's fine. That's fine. So let thumb URL equals, we'll do this like that. Then we can output it. Thumb fn. And then I'm gonna save this just for a sec because I don't trust myself here. And after argument list, line 41. Ugh, don't know how that snuck in there. All right, and it kind of breaks. Width is not defined. Width. So format, width, height. So that's format, width and height. Format with height, format with height. And then we'll do thumb file name instead of fn. Boom, thumb file name. So that, thumb file name, yada, yada, yada. And we'll output it. And still things are broken. Pos ID is not defined. Pos ID. I think to keep my sanity, I'm gonna standardize these on lowercase. Anything that goes into a route probably should just stay lowercase. Is a single unit extension not defined because I changed it to format. Not everybody knows about it yet. Format. Format. Boom. And boom. All right. And now we can, so for example, if I do, let's say, let's do a small one because we'll never generate it. So 32 by 32 on these guys will never exist, right? But on the large one, so we can do now a 1024x 1024 PNG 1024 1024. If we do this, that looks wrong because it's small. In fact, interesting. So the redirect failed. Open. Come on, open this in a new thing. All right. So it says 1024 by 124. Format thumb file name. So the thumb file name is correct. The thumb file name is correct. What's this one? Oh, I just stuck it over there. Thumb file name is correct, but it's small instead of big. Generate thumbnail. Oh, Wait, generate something. No, we're not actually passing in anything. So format with height. And I think I'm gonna get rid of all of these defaults, and I'm gonna just expect that those to be handled higher up. It's just making things noisy here. That should be validated at a much higher level. I mean, yeah, ideally you validate things at the lowest level, right? But then you're just doing it the most often. Thumbnail not found. Okay, but a refresh over here, that doesn't like that. Width, height, width, PNG 128 128, PNG SVG, width, height. So these are all formatted. If I restart this one, and let's let me make these URLs. It'll make it easier to excuse me, to kind of test this stuff, especially these long ones. So if I do this and do this here like that, so then I can now just do this and have this here. Delete these, right? Is this even running? Ah, wait. Oh, it does the stupid rewrite. Okay. Okay, how many does it do? 1, 2, 3. All right. No such file directory. And if I go up here and refresh this, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it does execute. It's just I couldn't see its scroll, so it was a little confusion. Undefined. So I'm feeling that it's wrong on this end. Wait, generate thumbnail URL, get thumb PNG undefined. Width, height, generate thumbnail, and I just didn't put it in here. Hey. Oh. Request to failed reason connection something. What? Ah. Aha. And then those, and then this one won't. And this one works second time around. Right. Now the thing is, from this place, we just cannot generate the image. Oh, hey Shelby, hey Jovanto. How are you doing? People from Twitch land and from YouTube land, welcome. I got used to being on my own today. All right, so we generate these at different sizes. Now we have to be a bit careful because, for example, this large PNG is 42 kilobytes. So let's see, node server PNG compression. Can we improve compression? And we should probably use, yeah, this kind of stuff. So if I look at image min, okay, so we probably are these are actually node things. Well, let's put them in here and see what we can do, because these puzzle images should compress really well. I mean, we obviously also want to optimize on the SVGs. Ah, all right. But you did say hi on Twitch. Is that just automatic? Well, I do appreciate the followers and the chats, because on Twitch, every time I stream, I think I'm losing what they called there? Subscribers, followers, yeah. 203 now. I think I lost 2 already just by streaming. I guess my content isn't very Twitch friendly. All right, let's have a look at this stuff. I mean, this is kind of industry standard, so I guess I can't really go wrong with this stuff. Let's... Something not found. Shouldn't that be found now? If I grab this guy, shouldn't that work? Oh, I'm not running the API crashed. What? Did I mix syntax? Oh no. Seriously? Image min. Where was I just looking at this? Require of is module. Require image min. Yeah, you'd think image min would just work. Image min npm. Did they change over to modules and then they expect everybody? It's so annoying. I still don't understand how this incompatibility bullshit works. Like, I have to rewrite all my code to use this one module, and now everything is sort of forward. And I think that's why I was switching to to module format, because everything is a pain in the ass otherwise. All right. In fact, I did that with the other test. I did all of this already. Where did I do all of this already? One of these guys, test. I think I did it with the data, Sudoku data, prototypes. Yeah, this kind of thing. Import path from path. Import. I don't know why. Man. Now the problem is something like Express forwards compatible? Because that's the problem, right? Like, if I need to use both, it's so annoying that I can't mix. And it's really, it feels like it's just syntax. Like, how are these things not compatible? It's so frustrating. Like, I'll admit I've not spent the time to figure it out, but I've come across this so many times now, and it's just really, really terrible. I have to init it, I guess. This is so horrible. Issue is most used loader. There are two types of modules. CommonJS, yeah. So your index is CommonJS, an imagement, npm modules, ESM, and the errors occur when you try to require call to ESM. There are two possible solutions to convert your index from CommonJS to ESM. Import call instead of require to import ESM module from first preferred option. Change all required calls to import from library calls. The problem is that doesn't work if the modules aren't ESM modules, and most things aren't. So many things aren't, right? Run as node index.mjs. To be honest, I've never done MJS. It's always bothered me and I never wanted to. So let's just see what it does if I do this. Now I have to figure out how that compatibility works, which I don't think I've ever done myself. This is gonna be a pain in the butt. Load F puzzles. So what I don't understand is this seems to work just fine. I don't know. So how is this syntax not equivalent to this? God knows. All right. So this is supposedly now gonna work. Something broke. Your name is not defined. Where does this come from suddenly? Is this... Seriously? Man, these things are grinding me down. Hey guys. All right. All right. There's still hope. It's loading. So we've loaded in the ImageMin stuff. Yeah. How to use exact. Okay, we can close most of this stuff. Toby. Toby's home. He's already in bed. All right. All right. All right. All right. Await ImageMin. Destination. Plugins. Quality 0.4. All right, that's an example. Compress multiple placement in new directory. No, I just want to compress one. npm image min. Didn't I search that a second ago and I had ref open? Ammo. Okay. So images, image min, build images, destination, plugins, files, destination path, input options. All right, input type string, file path of glob patterns. So this only works on files. All right. All right, I'll bite. So here we'll have written the file. Here we have written the file. Make sure there aren't any other. Yeah. Let's do a shop folder here. Thumb nails. Right. Get rid of these. So now these should be thumbnails. And if I comment this out for a sec, that should just work. Thumbnail not found. Okay. But now they're not here. They're here. So now I should be able to do something like thumbnails. Actually, I should be able to just use this one. Like that. Destination. Thumbnails. Now, I'm curious what it'll do. Will it overwrite these? I don't know. Not sure what these multiple quality settings are all about, though. Can we get plugins to use? Can we get more information about this? Plugins, image, min, PNG, quant. Okay. Quality, array, min, max. Instruction going to use the least amount of colors required to exceed the max quality. If conversion results in quality below the min quality, the image won't be saved. Okay. All right. And if I do this again here, and then look in here, zip. To be honest, I need a demo of a singular URL. Makes testing a little bit less annoying. Like that. We're going to erase all these and refresh these. Right, and now boom. All right, what happens? Refused. Why? Okay. Should be refusing. Why is it suddenly refusing connections here? This very specifically should not fail. In fact, it doesn't fail. I don't know why it was failing. It's not failing. Yeah. Jesus. Anyway, stuff like that is painful. All right. So this does return the thing. And is this file compressed now? Yes. So let's do this with the large image. Which I believe is this one. And the link, unfortunately, doesn't help that much because it's of the freaking redirection. All right. Oh. Careful, I unplug myself. It's almost 9. I'm probably gotta stop soon. You know, take care of the family and the food and all that. So, does the PNG... so I know this was 40K before. All right, so this goes down to 5K. So it does the job, and it does it fairly quickly as well. Now the question is, does it do it for that singular file? So the file that comes back here, how big is it, right? So let's delete the file, all of them, refresh this, and it gets us a 4.6K file, which is this. All right, now the question is, does this also do SVG, which would be amazing? It does. Does it? SVGO. So if I do this, right? Let's just imagine I were to no. Let's just imagine I were to do this without the slashes. And then and include this plugin over here. I mean, this is an array, right? So we'll just do this kind of thing. SVGO has its own plugins. Oh god. The problem is SVGO needs a lot of configuration to really work well. Is there some sort of example how this might work? Well, all right. Well, let's get rid of this for a sec. Actually, let's get rid of this long thing here. So if I do this SVG and then this SVG like that, right? So right now there shouldn't be an SVG file in here. Nope, just the PNG file. If I refresh this, that should load an SVG file. And we know the SVG file is about 35K or something. So then the question becomes, this should still just run, right? We probably need to include that. SVGO, boom. SVGO and SVGO. And now, if I refresh this, this should run the SVGO plugin, and it makes a 6 kilobyte file compared to if I don't run this. Compared to still just 6. Oh, because the puzzle is quite simple. We need a more complex puzzle. How about this one? So we can put that in here. Let's just stick that right in here. All right. And now refresh and it fails. How does it fail now? Thumbnail, F puzzles. Do we not expect F puzzles here? No, we do. We do. Request URL. It comes to here. One sec. Where does it fail? We have the thumb file name. Thumb file name. This SVG. Thumbnails. Wait. It should be different now. So it never gets to the redirect, and it's not telling me how it's failing. And I see request.url in here. Where is this being output? Oh, what? How do we end up with a 404 here? Did I thumbnail slash size.svg thumbnail slash fpuzzles puzzle data width x height format svg or png, and this should be a skate full stop, and that should be it. Thumbnail fpuzzles 124.svg, and boom. Why does it suddenly not read that URL anymore? Thumbnail slash fpuzzles. Thumbnail slash fpuzzles. Puzzle data. Puzzle data. Does the puzzle data have a slash in it? Yes, it does. Ah. Shoot. Yeah. If we do this, will that work? Backslash S. So anything that's a space or not a space. Nope. Including slashes. Nope. All right, so that probably won't work as a regex here, as a non-regex. So if we do this as a regex, like that, I don't actually know how that works out here. Let's see. Dot get path examples, path pattern, regular expression. So I don't think we can have named terms with groups are upright in the area using. Yeah, okay. So we're just gonna have to do that for now. Get rid of these guys. And this. And that, all right. And that. And we're just gonna have to clean that up ourselves. So the moment you want to do something interesting, obviously all this default stuff doesn't work, which means you're wasting time not having done it in the first place. So that's sometimes quite annoying. So if we do this, puzzle data, width, height, and format as an array out of params. But like at this point, just give me the string and let me apply my own regular expression. I mean, you know. Const. What's it starting with? Request dot params. Is not iterable property. I'm pretty sure it is. Oh. Oh, geez. Okay. It comes back as an object of number. God damn it. So I gotta do this. Is that what they want from me? Instead of just giving me an array, they give me an object with numbers. Because it's mixed in with the other params, with the named params, right? So I guess this should just work then. Okay. So it's a 38K SVG file. And if we run it through this thing and do this, it's a 37K. Okay. So this doesn't get much reduced, and that's a bit of a shame because I know for a fact there isn't 37K worth of SVG data in there. You know. So probably what we need to do is we need to figure out how we're gonna address SVGO and do all those things. Base64 JS2 SVG strings with laser numbers and space 4 by default. Pretty plugins preset default. Prefix IDs and built-in plugins by name. So if we do stuff like this, for example, and then do that, and I'm afraid we're gonna need a lot more than that. Ugh. I lost here. Unexpected token, comma. So let's put this over here. Preset default. Oh, wait, that's not the right syntax. Plugins, preset default. Has a plugin base. Name. Plugins. Name active. False. Oh, shoot. Is that... My god, that's horrible. So ugly. I guess we have to do this for every plugin. Would we then have to do this? And true? Like that? Will that run reset default? Well, it's 13K now. All right, that's much more compact. Now, what would be even more compact would be to combine these kind of styles into classes. SVGO, combine styles into classes. And I don't know if SVGO can do that. And I'm guessing that's something that's a bit tricky to do. Always get reviewer pull request. Actually, SVGO now do nothing with styles. Optimization suffer from that. So the plugins like this should be enabled by default. If in this plugin to apply styles from a style block as inline on the shape. That puts SVGs. I'd rather have IDs on paths, inline styles, or IDs classes. The other alternative, what might work, is to tell SVGO to just strip unused styles. SVGO strip unused styles. So there's a minify styles. Okay. If I do this, minify styles instead of preset default, like that. And then we run this again. It will rewrite the file. Yeah, 34. It became bigger. So is there... Oh, shoot. 592. No complications, but it does. Not directly, but via CSSO. Minify styles should remove unused styles based on the usage data. Few exceptions. Some elements have an on attribute. Event handler. Usage to force. Option to true. Example. All right, that's probably not gonna work. To be fair, this is something I can... I mean, it's just optimization and minification, all that stuff. What I really need to do is I have to not emit as much style information on the way out, because currently it just plonks the entire style sheet out from the engine in there. Not the entire one, but like a big chunk of it. And a lot of this... actually, no, I am actually custom... Maybe this is something I should do on the engine level, actually. Because there's only so many different styles present. Yeah, you know how it goes. Oh, whisper lines. Okay, all whisper lines look the same, right? So this should be the same as this, yada, yada, yada. There should be definitely something like strip unused attributes. Because I don't think this is actually a used attribute, right? It's not a valid... It's a invalid... invalid attribute, right? So what does remove attributes do? Remove attributes... Remove... Want to minify my SVG images, remove attributes, but I have no result. Does not work. Strip invalid attributes. I don't, to be honest, SVGO is like, it's a fairly complex tool in and of itself. So I probably need to kind of dive into that a little bit as a separate thing. Yeah, I think it just goes from here. And then it kind of goes through all of this. Remove, clean up attributes, something like this. And then, you know, kind of work our way up from there. Oh. 38. It's bigger now. But did it remove things like background color? No, it didn't. I mean, that's the sort of thing I definitely would like to get rid of. I just closed it. So, merge styles, clean up attributes. What does this do? Merge styles, inline styles, remove empty attributes. Remove. There's no like remove invalid attributes. Remove unknown elements, contents, attributes. Okay, I think this might be what I need actually. So if I now do this, and now look in here, 27K, yeah. And now I think background color is gone. All right. Yeah. And then there's probably a bunch of stuff we can do from there. Now, preset default was already working pretty well. If I run this, I mean, it's already it went down. Well, 27 is actually not that great, is it? Now, if we already have in... Oh, wait, width and height. Is that actually... Oh, yeah. Yeah, these are all should be... All right, anyway, I'm rambling. This should still get us the SVG. It's now 13K. That's already better. All right. And if we go back to our full test page, what are we going to get? Large PNG. And in fact, let's do a PNG version of this as well. Right. And do this. Right, and these are now not that huge. 15K, that's all right. 13K, that's all right. And these are large sizes. Like for our thumbnail size, I think 512 by 512 is probably perfectly fine. And then it becomes a question of storage space, right? That doesn't really have much to do with the API then. Do I have the bandwidth? Do I have the storage space? Are my patrons paying for it? That's gonna be the question, right? Because I know I can't afford it. Why is this one still 512? That should be an SVG file, and it definitely shouldn't be this size. But it is. This is inaccurate. So we're definitely still not fully passing the information through correctly. So, wait a second. I did the width and height pass-through on... I was looking at the thumbnail, right? And we looked at the PNG conversion code, SVG to PNG, width and height. But the SVG itself is already supposedly sized accordingly. Puzzle to SVG. If I do this, right? It's gonna be a bit of a pita to get that out of here into the right context. So let's limit that to this test case. And clear all the files. And see what we see over here. SVG 512 by 512. So I'm starting to see there might be a problem if I'm running multiple at the same time, where maybe there's crosstalk. So I need to kind of limit thumbnail generation to kind of 1 or 2 at a time. Let's see if I clone these here, and I'll do large and small versions. Because the strange thing is, even before, it's like, I don't know, it's like it was looking at the wrong files, but the files are named tagged with the sizes, so it's a little odd that that would happen. Yeah, you see, this one is now not sized correctly. So I think there's crosstalk happening, where basically the engine, the size doesn't get passed in correctly, and it kind of gets overwritten from one to another. But that's kind of a different level of debugging then. And we're limited to doing one at a time, so we need to figure out how to handle synchronicity, concurrency actually. So what we should do is, I mean, we can do something a little bit here. We can say, let thumb in. So we do a thumb busy, right? And then if I wanted to have a promise that is not yet resolved, because I was basically going to say, hey, you know, can I just await a promise here? So if I do promise.resolve, and then I'll do puzzle data, thumb busy, I'll do a false. Is thumb busy? I'll do that. And then we'll do thumb busy p dot then new promise resolve reject. Let's do that. And then here, let do resolve. And we'll do resolve equals resolve. And then we should be able to just call do resolve down here. Kind of like that. Do resolve. Boom. And then here, we'll do await. I'm busy. Like that. And then we'll do that. I don't know if that's gonna do what I think it should do. Can read property undefined reading then. So here is thumb busy equals true. And then do resolve is thumb busy equals false. No. I'm gonna do this. Was false. So the idea is that we have a promise sitting there. And if I go here, can I read properties of undefined reading? Then properties of undefined. Thumb busy. 213. Thumb busy. So, yeah, we don't want to do this, right? This should still be the same promise. Okay, and if I refresh this, no, not this. If I refresh this, and if I now do, what's the syntax now? png slash 2x2 slash. So is thumb busy false? Is thumb busy false? And then is thumb busy should be false here. Like that. So if I refresh this, is thumb busy should be false, true here, but it should be false at the beginning. Is thumb busy is true. All right. So now let's clear these out. Go in here and refresh this whole thing. Is thumb busy is true. Is thumb busy true? Wait, I'm busy. Now the problem is, will this never resolve? Do resolve is not a function. Do resolve equals resolve. Do resolve is not a function. But it quite clearly is up here. Wait, I need to set this up and then I have to, no. This is tricky, right? Because I have to wait for this to finish. But at this point, this hasn't really been executed yet, has it? This function, is this executed synchronously? I guess we have to move everything into here then, basically. Or we somehow wait for this. Basically what I'm not sure about right now is if I await this, this can never finish. This can. In fact, that's what I'm waiting for here. But this won't have executed yet. So we kind of need to do this in here. Like this. And instead of do resolve, we just have resolve. And then all of this is basically here. Like that. Basically. And if I delete all of these again, rerun this. Await is only async. That's now async. Here we go. Okay. And now they resolved all, and Still the wrong sizes. All right, this is not something to be solved right now. And it would be nice if I could simultaneously create them, but I don't think that makes sense. Since they'd be holding on the same resources, right? And I don't actually want to. I don't want to allocate a lot of resources to this. So generally, you would only generate one thumbnail at a time. And if you're creating like a full list, then you gotta wait. So we're gonna put a big to-do here. Eliminate race conditions and opts crosstalk. I mean, I could instantiate their own pages, but I'd like to avoid that because I don't know how expensive that is in the remote controlled browser. Now the funny thing is, I can generate both. Now what I don't like is that it's then actually generating the file, pretending it's the real thing, right? If I do this, it's still telling me it's making an SV. One sec. Here, I'm not even checking if the file exists, right? So what we should do here is, if file exists thumb file name, and we want to generate this one first. If file exists thumb file name, if it doesn't exist, then we'll do this. Otherwise, and we can skip this as well. Otherwise, we'll just proceed. So that way, it shouldn't generate a whole bunch of things. And in fact, now the SVG is fixed. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna end the stream here today. I think we made some progress. It's a little bit topsy-turvy. I'm still a bit rusty with Express. I didn't actually expect it to go into image optimization a little bit, but we're gonna want that. We're gonna have to do all sorts of stuff like max sizes and things like that, and then maybe in the future even a little bit of, well, we definitely authentication. I can't just have this be public if it's gonna generate such a load on the server. We're gonna need to run some tests and say, hey, you know, if I run if I make a list of 100 thumbnails, how long does it take? What does it do to the server, etc., etc. I mean, you know, 14K per thumbnail. We can just say, let's say 15K, and we'll say 10,000 puzzles, and then divided by 1,000,000 or megabytes, right? So that's 150 megabytes. So that's would be for large SVGs and PNGs. So, you know, we could say 150 MB large 1000 to 4x 1000 to 4 SVG. Then we'll do the same thing for PNG. And then for 512 by 512. They're still fairly, in fact, the SVG will be the same size, right? So for the SVGs, we definitely don't want to save them in different sizes. That's clear. In fact, we might be able to get rid of the size altogether, maybe? I don't know. Or we just have one size for the SVGs. Or we, you know, I mean, it's literally just rewriting the viewport at this stage. But we don't want to store them separately. Yeah, but it's not too bad. Like, and this is for 10,000 puzzles, right? So this is almost, there's a big chunk of LMD. It's basically most of LMD. And if we double it and have CTC and all the strays, so that'd be 600, 300, 600, and then maybe another, you know, 100 or so for the small ones, times 2. So it's only a couple of gigs, and we're actually okay. And that's not too bad. I mean, bandwidth might be an issue eventually. If people are hot linking the images, that's probably something I can't really manage in the long run. Yeah, that might be an issue. I'd like to be able to do it. Maybe if I run it through some kind of AWS Edge, AWS image server. serverless image handler. Because maybe I can push the images into some storage that can just run them cheaply. Other solution template deploys the following resources on CloudFront. Distribution, present caching layer, reduce the cost of image processing and the latest of subsequent image delivery. Yeah, so, you know, I can maybe run it through Amazon CloudFront. I mean, I've not really dealt with this stuff before, so it's going to be a bit of a learning. Here's free tier. So it's a terabyte of data transfer out. Well, we'll have to see. So maybe I can push it through CloudFront or something. And then maybe I can just handle them all. I mean, you know, how many Sudoku crazies are out there? Well, if you want to support me doing this, please, you know, do the whole usual things. Subscribe on YouTube at youtube.com/SvenCodes. Search for me on Twitch under, well, twitch.tv/SvenCodes will do the trick. And of course, any support you can do on Ko-fi or patreon.com/SvenCodes would be highly appreciated. And that's it for me for today. I'm going to keep working on this. And I'm going to let you guys know if there's something that you can actually use. It'll be a couple more weeks probably before this is going to be launched in any kind of shape form. And it's probably going to be initially be used by some internal things and by some other developers using it, building related services. I definitely want to work on my puzzle pack management system and use this kind of as an internal dog fooding procedure where I use my own service to make sure I can figure out exactly if it works well and how it should work. But so far I haven't seen anything, even performance storage wise, where it's just a big fat no, that can't be done. I gotta look at, I think it's gonna be almost more expensive to like just doing the decompression on the puzzle data and decoding of the puzzle data versus generating the actual image data, the binary data. That's doesn't seem to be that huge of an issue. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for hanging out. And I hope I see you guys sometime next week. I don't want to not stream until the next weekend, to be honest. Take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.